Hey, how's all the sexy bitches doing out there? Fresh off the bye week, we are back at you with episode 5 of the NFL Boycott Club. Joining me, as always, the powerful man of Portuguese heritage. What's your name again?
Call me Greg.
Gio?
Let's go with that.
Gio, what's up, pal?
Not too much.
How was your bye week?
It was good. Not too bad. Sorry to the folks.
Did you rest up and ice up and
I did.
take care of those injuries?
Of course. Got some painkillers, some cortisone shots. We're good to go now.
All right. And as always, it's time for the Mike Francesa Diet Coke. So fucking cheers, everybody. What's on your mind, dude?
Not too much. Happy Halloween to everybody.
That's right. It is Halloween.
It is Halloween today. Not to brag, but the week before our bye, I was 2-1 based on my picks. I would have been 3-0 if Houston had any clue what they were doing coaching-wise. But 2-1's not bad, right?
2-1 will win you money.
Right. Should have been 3-0 if not for a horrible Houston coaching.
3-0 will make you more money. But
Yeah.
2-1, you're still a winner.
Yeah, absolutely you are.
And me, my lock of the week, not so much.
Yeah, you picked what was the Patriots over the Broncos.
Yeah, and the Pats that week. We're going back 2 weeks, but they got fucking lit up.
And I wasn't going to say anything. I wasn't too fond of your lock because at that point you were 3-0.
Right.
But just something about that game was weird with the Pats being off a week, Cam being off with the COVID. You know, usually it throws the team's timing off when they're off 2 weeks like that.
Speaking of weird, in the sport of football, what else happened that was weird last week?
What happened?
Rutgers won.
That is weird. Against a legitimate program.
Against the Spartans.
Not like Howard
Michigan
University
State.
Or something.
Right, who they do play, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I made that point. But yeah, Michigan State is a great program. And they beat them pretty good, right? Wasn't it a 10-point win? It wasn't like a last-second drive or anything.
I didn't see the game. I don't even know if the game was on TV. It probably was on TV because of Michigan State, if anything.
They probably play in the Big Ten Network or one of those stations, I would assume. But I'm the same way. I didn't see it either.
But today, the Scarlet Knights will go on in about 10 minutes from now on FS1. At the same time your Notre Dame team plays. So we can switch back and forth between those games in real time as we're doing our show here.
This is when you need 2 TVs in your house for situations like this.
If we weren't doing a podcast, I could use my computer as a TV.
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
So maybe we will do that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll look into that.
And Clemson is barely beating BC right now. They just got an interception, so that might at least ice it. But Clemson has the backup quarterback in because Trevor Lawrence was out with COVID. But the backup seems to be doing decent.
So what's going on? We got Week 8 of the NFL coming up. We're talking a little Big Ten. The Big Ten came back last week. Penn State lost, huh?
Yeah, that was a weird ending, though.
Actually, the team that beat Penn State is the team Rutgers is playing today.
Right, so if Rutgers beats them, they're going to be ranked.
Yeah, well, the team, I believe it's Indiana.
Yep.
And they're ranked number 17.
Yep.
So Rutgers, look, all this shit I talked about Greg Schiano over the years, man, I'll tell you what. In 2 weeks, he could have Rutgers fucking ranked.
Yeah, 2-0
after being gone for like 8 years.
Let's not jump the gun though. They still have to actually win this game.
No, right. So, but I'm saying just the fact that they have a chance to be ranked.
They have a chance, right?
After 2 weeks,
right? Because the past 10 years, they probably had zero chance of ever being ranked at any point in the season.
So that's pretty nuts, man.
Yeah, good for him. I mean, that's why they paid him. What was it, $30 million to come and coach?
Whatever they paid him, it was too much. I think they should have paid a king's ransom to Urban Meyer.
Well, I think Meyer's done. I don't think he wants to coach.
Well, I think he's done. Plus, I don't think he would ever go to Rutgers.
Yeah, no. Not after coaching at Ohio State and Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty big drop-off, no, to go to Rutgers.
Right. But if there's a coach, you want to get the big tuna, like the Bill Parcells of the college level.
Ideally, yeah. I mean, he as much as I'm not a huge Urban Meyer fan just because of how he goes about his programs, like he has guys that, get arrested.
Is he like sick or something? Is that why he stepped down?
He had a lot of issues with like his health when he was coaching. I guess he was getting very stressed out. So they said he had like heart palpitations, like headaches, things like that. So the doctors told him it probably wouldn't be safe for him to coach week in and week out.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That's like your boy in Major League, right? When he's in the hospital with the fucking radio.
Oh, Major League 2. Yeah.
And he's got the fucking...
And he's watching the soap opera.
Yeah, right.
Because
Because he's not supposed to be watching the baseball game.
and he's like, I love this English shit.
You know, like, I really like Major League 2. I watched it in the movies. It was PG-13. The first one was R.
Right.
But compared to the first one, it's dog shit.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. There's some funny
The
moments
first one
in it.
is so much better.
The first one, the whole movie's funny. The second one has funny moments, but definitely not as consistent as the first
Right.
one.
Like, I like when your boy goes, Serrato's going to need a rocket up his ass to catch this one.
Well, Bob Uecker is
Yeah.
great in both. He's a little more like risky in the first one with his comments, which I like.
The sweet old man from Mr. Belvedere.
Yeah, it's funny that he actually announces like real baseball games. Like it's crazy they actually got him.
Didn't he play baseball?
Yeah, he was a catcher.
Yeah.
He had a funny comment. They said to him, "How do you catch a knuckleball?" He says, "You wait for it to stop rolling, then you pick it up." Because knuckleballs are like almost impossible to catch.
Right. Well, I wouldn't know that as a guy that's never played a single inning of baseball in his life, but you certainly have. So yeah.
Yeah.
But this is obviously a football show, but I'm just curious, how many different types of pitches are there? There's like 4 main kinds, right?
I mean, you have different versions of the fastball. You have a 4-seam, a 2-seam. Then you have a changeup, curveball, slider, splitter. I mean, there's also knuckleballs, which are rare.
But
up to
how
10
many pitches does Ricky Vaughn have?
He had the one, just the fastball.
He's got what do you call it, the eliminator?
The eliminator, yeah. And the second one, he said it. And then Bob Uecker says it's called this one was the out-of-stater when the guy hit a home run.
Too funny. We should go back and watch at least the first one.
Oh, yeah. It never gets old either. I've seen that one 100 times. I'll watch it.
Yeah,
100
yeah.
more.
Like even though it's like 30-something years old, it's still it holds
yeah.
up.
Oh, yeah.
It holds up.
And it was more accurate back then. Baseball's a little bit different now than it was in 1990 whenever that movie came out. But I think it was more accurate back then.
Yeah, right. And I like that in the second one, the Yankees are like the fucking bad guys.
Right. Yeah.
Because the Yankees are like the Cowboys of baseball.
Yeah, they usually make the Yankees out to be like the bad team in a lot of these baseball movies.
Yeah, the evil Yankees.
The villains, if you will.
Well, the way they fucking price their fans out with the new stadium, they are villains in my opinion.
You know what? I mean, you could find decent seats at Yankee Stadium.
Well, you're a bleacher guy.
Yeah, I mean, they're very affordable. But yeah, if you go sit in seats, you bring a family of 4, you're dropping like at least $200 minimum just for the tickets alone, if not more. And those are for upper levels, I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
You know, those are you're sitting in the
then
nosebleeds.
Then you got to pay parking, tolls if you're coming from Jersey.
Even if you take the train, you got to pay the train tickets. So it's not either way. It's gonna even out.
What's a beer at Yankee Stadium? $12 for fucking.
It's like
Coors Light?
$10. I know a little spot by the bleachers though. It's $6. If
oh,
you,
really?
Yeah, I can show you the way there if anybody wants to go to a game with me. But yeah, it's a $6 spot, cash only. You got to find those places.
That's interesting.
Yep.
That's interesting. So, what else? How's fantasy been going for you?
It's up and down. I'm 3-4. I got lucky last week. I actually won with a pretty bad team. I turned shit into gold. I had a couple backup running backs who actually wound up doing good.
We call that making chicken salad out of chicken shit. That's the saying.
That's a better way to say it.
That's a real saying. I didn't make that up.
I like that one. I never heard it.
Yeah.
But I had a backup running back for the Packers who I got lucky with because the starter went down, Aaron Jones. So he actually had a great game. My receivers played pretty well. And not to mention the team I played actually played like shit, so I got lucky with that. Sometimes you need that, though.
Yeah, well, I got lucky in one of my leagues. I won because the guy I was playing had all his good players were on a bye week.
Oh, wow.
So I got lucky like that.
The guy I was playing had starters in. They just put up goose eggs. He had Beckham, who got hurt early.
Fuck him.
And he had somebody else that I think it was Gallup from the Cowboys had a 0.
Well, speaking of Beckham, what was it, about a month ago? Everyone was like, kneeling down and blowing this guy. Now what? Now he's out for the year?
Yeah, torn ACL.
And first of all, let's set the record straight about Beckham. Great athlete, total nut job of a guy.
Right.
And
total head case.
Very talented. Probably one of the most talented athletes in any sport I've ever seen.
He is.
But, again, when he's on the Giants, what did the Giants do? They lost.
Yeah, they had losing seasons.
He's not a team player. He just cares about his stat, which is fine. Everybody has to perform as best they can, but teams don't win with this guy. He had one good game in Dallas against a shitty fucking defense, against a whole shitty team.
Yep.
A team that's having a rougher time almost as the Giants are.
And the Browns, I mean, they've done shit until this year.
But everybody anointed this guy like the greatest of all time for the one game in Dallas. Then the next week it was right back to the same Beckham.
Yeah, I think it's his mentality is what really
and then
holds him back.
Wasn't he pounding on the field the next week?
Well, yeah. Oh, you mean for the Giants game?
No, Beckham.
Yeah, but which game?
Like when he played shitty. I don't have the Browns schedule memorized, but
he took his shoes off.
Yeah,
at the end of the game,
started making an idiot out of himself again.
He took his cleats off. Yes,
because he didn't have a 5-touchdown game, so he's got to pout like a little fucking kid.
Yeah, and that's a distraction. That's what hurts your team is stuff like that. They actually mentioned that with Beckham out, the Browns might actually be better.
I wouldn't doubt that
because he's less of a distraction now. Mayfield can kind of more focus on just doing what he can do and not just saying, "Oh, I gotta throw to Beckham because he's gonna get mad at me if I don't." So,
is that true? Like, is that a thing?
Well, this is what I've heard on the analysts saying, but it makes sense. You know, I mean, these guys can be a headache. So,
well, especially him,
right?
Especially him. Only guy I've ever seen get into a fight with a kicking that and lose.
Yeah.
Fucking unbelievable.
Freaking Beckham, man.
So, let's dive into it. Week 8.
We're gonna dive into the picks, right?
Yeah. So, to all our great fans out there, we usually kick the show off with Orgo's 3 predictions.
Yeah.
We don't make you wait till 5:55.
We're only 10 minutes in, right? And we're still good.
We don't make you sit through commercials.
Oh.
You know why? Because we love our fans.
And we don't have any advertisers.
Right, but mostly we love our fans.
That's the main reason, yes.
So what do you got for me?
So the first game I like is actually the first game I saw here on the schedule was Ravens and Steelers. So this could be a tough game to pick. It's a divisional game, 2 very good teams. I'm picking the Ravens here minus 3.5 because the Steelers got to lose eventually, right? You are right. That's my main reason for this pick.
You feel like they're due for a loss.
Yeah, and the Ravens are a good team. They're not playing like the Giants or anything.
They're giving 3.5 at home to a very good Steelers team. So I don't know if I like that spread. You know what I mean?
It's a weird spread. It's definitely a weird spread. But I
don't disagree that the Ravens can win outright. I just don't know about the 3.5.
What do you feel it should be?
I almost feel
that's
like
kind of high. You're saying?
Like I don't think the Steelers are going to lose by that much if they lose.
Yeah, I mean it's more of like a pick'em game. I feel like.
Yeah, right. That's my stance.
But I could definitely see this game going in the favor of the Ravens, and the Ravens actually going up by like 10 points, and maybe winning by like 7 or something.
Sure.
I just feel like the Steelers are due for a loss. I know they're a good team, but like how much longer can they keep winning? This isn't like the Patriots team of 2012 or the Dolphins team in the 80s. Like this is the Steelers when Ben Roethlisberger was 40 years old and really like they have a good defense, but they have to lose eventually. And if they're going to lose, this will be the game, a divisional game on the road versus a good Ravens team. I'm taking the Ravens here minus 3.5.
Well, 5-1. I mean, look, that's a tough one.
It is tough.
This week. So last night on my show, What's Trending, that I do, I don't know if you watched it or not yet, my solo show, that's a bunch of fun. Everything that was trending had a common thread to it. All right? It triggered white, liberal pussies. And that was the common thing. And it just so happened to work out like that. Out of everything that was trending this week that I talked about.
Okay.
The common theme this week on the NFL Boycott Club, all these games are tough to pick.
Yeah. I mean,
pretty much, for the most part.
I looked through every game, and I'm not very confident in any of these. But that was the one that stood out to me. I do like the Ravens there.
What do you got next for me?
So the second pick, I'm liking Rams at Dolphins.
That's interesting. That's a game. I saw that, and I'm like, I'm staying away from this one.
Ideally, you should, but here's my thinking. You have Tua starting. I mean, do we really trust this guy to come in and beat the Rams? A good Rams team with a solid defense? That's going to be tough for Tua.
And once again, by the way, and I brought this up before, this is like the 18th time this year, on only halfway through the season, another West Coast team has to play on the East Coast at 1 p.m. I'm not making excuses for anybody. I have no dog in this fight. I'm not a Rams fan. I don't hate the Rams. I don't hate the Dolphins, whatever. I just don't think it's fair for West Coast teams to have to play on the East Coast at 1 p.m.
1 p.m. I understand. That makes sense. And that's a factor into this game as well.
But the Rams, I think, are like 1-0 or 2-0 on the East Coast this year at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Because I know at one week they had to play in Buffalo and they won.
That's right. Oh, that was a crazy game too. That was a lot of they were down by a lot that game. They came back.
So maybe they're just 1-0 on the East Coast, but the Niners are 2-0.
Okay. Well, they did play 2 New York teams, right?
Right.
That'll get you to 2-0.
I don't know if both of those games were at 1 o'clock or not.
They believe they were.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. That could definitely play a factor into the outcome. I do like the Rams here, though. I mean, to see the Dolphins win this game, hey, if they do, all the power to them. You know, if you're betting the Dolphins this game, like, good luck. Because don't you see the Rams beating them?
Well, and again, the Rams are on the road, and they're laying 3.5 on the road.
Yeah, again, and again, the road.
So that, dude, I don't know, man. I think that's a tough call.
It is, and again, that heat in Miami does affect teams. Like, for whatever reason, teams go down there and tend to lose. Like, remember, the Patriots would always go down to Miami and lose.
That's funny.
They'd be 12-4,
right?
And then the Dolphins would be like 2-14,
right?
And beat them once.
That's right. Division games are tough.
It's a little bit different. Division games definitely are tougher. But I like the Rams here. I mean, I'm gonna go with them. 3.5.
And as you know, when you're in a scenario where you might have a 2-12 team versus a 12-2 team, maybe the matchups are very unfavorable for the 12-2 team. You know?
Yeah, it's all about the matchups.
Sometimes it just works out like that.
Right. And I feel like this game, it's like, hey, I'm betting the Rams. If I lose, whatever. It's kind of like blackjack, right? When you have 20, it's like, hey, if I lose with 20, what am I supposed to do? I'm little, that's it.
Well, remember, if the dealers show an ace, and you have 20, you always do what?
Well, insurance.
Only when you have 20.
Right.
That's it. And if you have blackjack and the dealers show an ace, what do?
Blackjack dealer show an ace.
You take the even money.
Take the even money. Oh yeah, of course, absolutely, yeah. I would.
Not to be confused with the movie Easy Money.
Easy Money, yes. Do our listeners know about Easy Money?
I'm sure they do because our listeners are very intelligent people.
But I didn't even know about the movie until you told me about it, and I was like, wow, this is a great movie.
That's
Ronnie Dangerfield and Joe Pesci.
Right. That's because, I love you, and you're a smart guy, but you're a little uneducated in some areas in life. And that's where I come in.
The early 80s.
I fill the gaps for you, pal.
That's it.
Yeah, I want to say that movie's from like 1980, 1981.
Yeah, I think it was like 81, if I'm not mistaken.
Fucking Staten Island, which is basically like New Jersey.
To all you guineas out there, watch that movie. You'll love it.
And Joe Pesci has got to be like in his late 30s, early 40s maybe?
Probably mid to late 30s.
Because he's like 70 now.
He might be. No, he's older than that. I think he's in his mid 70s.
Wow.
Because in The Irishman, did you see him in that movie?
He looks old as fuck.
He looked terrible.
Yeah.
He was definitely like 75.
I can't believe he's that old.
And that's like 2 years old by now, so he's probably 77
now. Because,
now.
all I ever watch is Casino and Goodfellas. So, to me, he's always that. And My Cousin Vinny.
Right.
So, to me, he's just always that age.
And they were all within, 3 years of each other or so.
Goodfellas is from 1990. My Cousin Vinny's from 92. And Casino's from 95, 94. So, yeah.
About 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
He was in 3 different movies, so he's got to be maybe in his early 40s at that point.
And those are 3 goddamn good movies.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Casino's a long movie, though. That takes some investment.
I like Casino better than Goodfellas, actually.
Do you?
And I know that's not the most popular stance, but that's just, I like what I like.
It's a toss-up. It definitely is.
And My Cousin Vinny. Talk about movies that hold up. All 3 of those fucking movies hold up.
Oh, sure.
That's the true test, I think, of a good film.
Over the test of time, are they still relevant? Are they still good? Yeah, they are.
Now, dude, I might have told you this. For those that don't know, I've never seen The Godfather. But,
what a shame.
But I heard it very much still holds up. I tried watching it, dude, and I got bored.
Really?
Yeah. And I heard Godfather 2 is amazing.
Yeah, the second one, in popular opinion, is better than the first one, which I agree with. It's like more of a prequel to the first one.
Right. That's with your boy De Niro, right?
De Niro's in it, yeah. They're both very good, though. I'm the opposite. Once I start watching one of those movies, I can't stop.
I couldn't get past the wedding. I couldn't. I was like waiting for something to happen that was interesting.
You gotta put the time in. It is a long movie. I think it's like 3.5 hours, so it definitely takes some time. But it's good. It's a good one, man.
I can't argue that because no one's ever told me it's a bad movie. But I have heard from a couple of other people, not many. They had the same experience as me.
Mm-hmm.
Not many people though.
Well, it is. You see in the list of like the best movies of all time. If it's not number one, it's like top 5.
Well, and speaking of that, it's also the sequel is also on the list of like best sequels of all time.
Yeah, well, it's probably better than the first one.
I'll tell you 3 of the best sequels of all time, undisputed.
Go ahead.
Godfather 2, which I know, and I've never seen it. Terminator 2.
Yes, Terminator 2, absolutely. I actually don't even like the first Terminator.
And what's the other one?
Which one?
Take a stab. What do you think?
I'm sure if you tell it to me, I'll know it.
I know you will. You will know it, but I just want to see.
Give me the decade.
It came out in 1980.
In 1980.
Yeah.
1980. Where are we going with this one?
Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm not a Star Wars fan.
It doesn't matter. I'm not a Godfather fan, but you got to give credit where credit's due.
I'm sure it is. I just never followed Star Wars.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What happened? When you were a kid, you were into fucking sports and girls and not fucking sci-fi?
I guess so, man.
You're really weird, bro.
I mean, the girls didn't like me, but I was into them.
See, I like to think I'm a well-rounded guy. I do everything.
I never got into Star Wars, but yes, go back to Terminator. Terminator 2 was actually way better than the first one. I didn't even like the first Terminator, to be honest.
See, I do like the first Terminator.
But the second one was amazing.
Right.
Even now, like you could still watch it and be like, this movie's incredible.
We're live at Rutgers, bro. We're watching the Rutgers game.
Oh, that's right. It's a home game, too.
We'll flip between this and Notre Dame.
Right. But do you want to get back to these picks? I got one more pick.
By the way,
give
it's
you.
a beautiful day here in Jersey.
Yeah, I mean, it's cold, but it's sunny
beautiful
out, and it's not that cold.
It's like a beautiful autumn day.
Yeah, they said it's like 45, but I feel like it's warmer than that with the sun.
And by the way, I do like that Shiano switched up the uniforms to like the old school, like 2006 uniforms.
Yes, I like those.
For
definitely.
a while, Rutgers was wearing some funky uniforms with like the shiny armor helmets.
Right, yeah.
And they were just so over the top.
It was like a silver color, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were like trying to be like the Ducks. They would have like a different uniform every week, and they were all like crazy.
Right. But let's see what they can do here. Maybe they'll do something today.
It's interesting. And I always like when a guy wears number 0 because I feel like that shouldn't be allowed.
Agent Zero.
Right. So what's your third pick, bro?
So the third pick, and
by the way, for those people that haven't caught on yet, the concept of the show is Joe Rogan Experience meets Mike Francesa. Right? So we can go down rabbit holes of whatever we want to talk about, but we're always going to come back to the sports and the football.
Yeah, the sports is the main topic, but there's only so much sports you can talk about for an hour, right? So you got to kind of mix it up.
Well, that's the beautiful part about the NFL Boycott Club is that we're the only people that do this. We made this format up.
Yeah.
And one day we'll probably have Craig Carton on.
Oh, that would be amazing.
We have a third seat right here for you, Craig.
Absolutely. I'm so happy that he's back. He's coming back November 9th on The Fan.
Oh, The Fan's taking him back?
Yeah, he's going to be with Evan Roberts, 2 to 7.
No shit. He's getting the Francesa slot.
Yeah. Yep.
What did they call that? Afternoon drive or something? Or evening drive?
Yeah, it actually winds up being longer because I think Francesa was like 3 to 6. And now this is 2 to 7.
Francesa was on from 1 to 6.
1 to 6, was it? Okay.
Yeah, so it's essentially the same time slot.
Yeah, so they're 2 to 7, and I'm excited. I can't believe I'm listening to this guy pretty soon.
So does Boomer not like him?
Didn't
you tell me like Boomer was like, I don't listen to their show religiously. I've listened every now and then, but weren't you telling me Boomer was more or less like talking shit about him?
Well, when they were on the show together, they had a great relationship. But once Carton got arrested,
when the shit hit the fan,
yeah, because he Boomer could have been out of business too because of Carton, just because of what Carton did.
Well,
so they had a falling out after he got arrested.
That's like in the WWE, you know how like there's tag teams.
Yeah.
If say one of the guys on the tag team has like a drug problem or he's like a fuck up in the locker room, the whole tag team gets fired, even though like the other guy is like.
And that's what Boomer was worried about, but luckily they were able to get Greg Giannotti in, and he's been pretty good. I still like Carton a lot better. I was hoping he'd go back with Boomer, but they're not going to mix that show up.
Right.
So we got Carton 2 to 7 with Evan Roberts, which I'm looking forward to. I mean, call him a criminal, whatever. He paid his dues.
Look, Evan Roberts is like our age. He's been in media since we were like in grammar school.
Yeah, I like him though. He's pretty knowledgeable.
He's got a great acumen for what he does. Very talented guy, taking no credit away from him. But I can't tell you how many times I had to turn off Joe and Evan because he just whines. He fucking whines and complains. Like one time some caller called and I forget what he said, and then he just goes, "Don't tell me how to spend my money." And he repeated that like 13 times in a row.
Yeah.
Don't tell me how to spend my money.
I hear him cry to callers sometimes.
Yeah,
and
like
it's pretty pathetic.
He just whines and complains, and it's like, dude, I think you're really good at what you do, except for when you whine on the air.
Yeah, we'll see how that duo goes, because what's good about it is Evan Roberts is very knowledgeable about sports.
Right.
Carton is not so much, but I love the entertainment Carton brings to the table, and that's how Boomer and Carton was, because Boomer obviously played football, so he knows a lot about the game.
Carton's like the casual commentator.
Yeah, he's a casual fan. He knows a little bit about every sport, but he brings
Sort of
comedy
like
to it. Yeah, and brings entertainment, which I like.
Right. I'm like an unfunny Craig Carton.
Don't sell yourself short, man. Come on. But I mean, for a while, Boomer and Carton show was the #1 show in the country.
Yeah,
so
I believe that.
It's hard to compare Barry to them.
One day the NFL Boycott Club will rise.
We'll be there.
All right, so what's pick number 3?
So pick 3, and like we were saying before, this is a weird week as far as matchups.
Just a bunch of tough games.
For whatever reason, I'm looking at the Lions and Colts game, and the Colts are -2.5. I like the Lions in this position. They're playing home. They just had a nice win versus Atlanta in the last seconds of the game. The Lions are 3-3. They're not a bad team by any means, and the Colts, I don't see them going 5-2 here. I like the Lions with the points. I could even see the Lions winning outright here and giving you good odds. Go with the Lions. Stafford's playing really well recently. They have a pretty good run game. Defense is playing okay. I'm taking the Lions here.
Yeah. I can't believe how well the Lions have been playing.
They have been. And again, you know my feelings about Phillip Rivers.
Your
I just
boy
don't
Matt
trust
Patricia
Rivers.
looked dead in the water a couple months ago.
And the Lions are known for losing these close games. And plus, I'm looking at this game also, and I'm thinking Phillip Rivers, I just don't trust him, man. He's not playing well, but the Colts are winning.
Yeah.
Who
knows? Sometimes that's what it takes, I mean,
I know he threw 2 interceptions last week, and they still got the win.
I mean, we talk about this all the time. Peyton Manning's last year on Denver, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, they didn't win the Super Bowl because of him.
Not because of him. Not at all. It was that amazing
Eli
defense.
had more to do with his Super Bowls with winning in the Super Bowl than Peyton did that last one.
It's hard to argue that. He did, because...
And I know that pains you to admit that.
Oh, it hurts me. It hurts my soul to say that. Because even though I'm a Giants fan, to me, Peyton Manning's the best quarterback I've ever seen in my lifetime. So, but that last year was not because of him that they won. Not by any means.
Right.
I mean, at one point in that game, they were just running the ball three times in a row just to get the Denver D in the field to shut down the Panthers again.
Right.
Like they had no hope that Peyton could do it. No hope.
Speaking of the Panthers and great players, why didn't anyone tell me that Luke Kuechly retired? I didn't know that.
Oh, that's right. You had asked me that on Thursday.
I was watching the game Thursday night, and I was like, where the fuck is Kuechly?
I'm surprised you didn't know that.
You told me it was like they did it like low key, like in the middle of the playoffs when they announced it. And
yeah, he announced it right before the Super Bowl, so it was kind of overlooked, I guess. But yeah, he's a young guy. He's only 29.
He's only 20. Yeah,
I mean, he had some concussions, and he was worried about his health and everything, which makes sense.
Dude,
but
he had
sucks.
concussions. That guy was fucking given concussions.
Oh, of course.
He was a bad motherfucker.
But we got to understand, with those collisions, you're like really damaging your head as well when you're meeting that running back in the hole. But yeah, I mean, it's a shame to see him go. I mean, that guy was probably the best linebacker over the past 5 years.
Yeah,
in the league.
I was really surprised to see that.
Captain of the defense. I mean, he was incredible.
So, shout out to Luke Kuechly, who's most likely tuned in.
We're a little bit late, I think, on that one, but yeah, give him a shout out.
I just found out by watching the game the other night. I really legitimately didn't know.
But actually, when you had brought it up to me, I knew he was retired, but I almost forgot about him. So I was glad you brought it up, because I was like, yeah, you know what? Luke Kuechly was a great player. Why aren't we talking about him more?
Yeah. And is the other good linebacker, Sean Lee, he's on Dallas. Is he still playing?
He's on Dallas. He's always hurt, off and on with injuries. And it's weird with that Cowboys defense. Like, they have these big name players, but they're the worst defense in the league. What is going on with Dallas?
Who knows?
Like, I know their defense is bad, but then when we look at the lineup, it's like, wait a second, these guys are actually all pro players.
You know what? Maybe the Jets did do us a favor by passing up on Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, I think McCarthy is definitely an offensive guy where he's just going to focus on the offense and nothing else. And they're not even scoring points, so I don't know what the Cowboys are doing. They're letting up 40 and scoring 3. So I don't know what they're doing over in Dallas.
Well,
I mean, granted, they do have a backup quarterback. Now a third-string quarterback coming on this Sunday.
well, I hope their special teams are okay because you gotta have something.
You got something going for you.
Keep the foot in football, as they say. All right, so there are your picks. We're gonna go around the league, and game number 1, the 1-5 Vikings are taking a trip to Lambeau to face the 5-1 Packers, and Green Bay is giving 6 on this one.
This is a tough game because divisional matchup. Again, we spoke about the Vikings numerous times. They have a ton of talent. I don't know why they're 1-5. I wouldn't touch this game. -6.
Right.
The Packers will probably win, but who knows? What a divisional game. I mean, it's funny with the Vikings because they have. If you look at their fantasy players, they all put up great numbers each week, but they lose every week. So,
there's no correlation between doing good in fantasy.
No, I understand that, but the offensive players are getting touchdowns. I mean, I have Dalvin Cook; he's killing it. Adam Thielen does amazing. Jefferson, the other wide receiver, does amazing. They just don't win games, but their fantasy stats are amazing.
Yeah, well, that was like I believe 4 weeks ago. I had Cam Newton in, and he had a really good game in real life, but he had a shitty game for fantasy points.
Right, yeah. And sometimes you have like the vice versa where you have like a good fantasy game like these guys do, and then it doesn't look that good. Like especially when you have a quarterback with like maybe like 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions,
right?
Like where they wind up losing the game, but they still have like 25 fantasy points.
It's crazy how that works out. I'll tell you what though, this isn't my lock of the week, but I love Green Bay -6 here.
You like a -6?
I would make this my lock of the week if I didn't pick one already.
Yeah, I mean I like Green Bay to win too. But again, I don't like these divisional games like this, and the Vikings are a weird team. You got to figure like they're gonna come across a couple of wins here and there.
Yeah.
Right.
So, dude, a lot of crazy shit happens over a bye week, right? So we take a bye week last week. All of a sudden now the Pats are 2-4 for the first time in God knows how long.
Yeah. Right.
And where are they? They're taking a trip to Buffalo. And Buffalo is. They're 5-2, and what are they doing? They're Buffalo's laying 3.5.
Yeah, it's a tough game. I mean, a couple of things here. One, Buffalo always plays well the first few games of the season, then they shit the bed after that. and
so true.
And two, the Pats usually have their number. That's another thing here. So if I had to choose, I'm taking Pats with the points. If I had to choose,
right?
But a tough game to pick.
Sorry, I'm just distracted by fucking asshole Phil Murphy, who I don't know why he's doing commercials because he knows he's going to be a one-term fucking loser governor.
Well, it's the Rutgers game, so...
Yeah. Sorry, I get distracted when I see pieces of shit on my TV. Anyway.
Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on, please. Fuck that guy. Oh, speaking of shitty things in New Jersey, the 0-7
Perfect
Jets
timing.
are visiting the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champions of the world, KC.
And this is a big spread. You do not see spreads like this in the NFL.
19.5 points the Jets are getting.
That's very rare, these types of spreads.
Bro, if I didn't pick a lock of the week, I love KC.
Oh, to win, yeah.
No, with the spread.
With the spread.
I think KC's going to win by more than 19.5.
Yeah, I mean, you got to definitely, if you're going to do a lock of the week, the Chiefs are it. I don't like spreads like this. We mentioned this before.
It's a college spread.
Yeah, because with 20 points, okay, so Kansas City's up by 27 or 26, with like a few minutes to go, and the Jets get a garbage time touchdown. That happens a lot, and that's why I wouldn't touch this game with the spread. But obviously the Chiefs are going to win.
Yeah, obviously. Can you imagine if actually the Jets win? This could be a trap game.
Who knows? I mean... And this will be a game they win, like, just stupidly. Like, they'll actually, you know what I mean? Like, in Survivor, everybody picks the Chiefs.
Right,
and then the Jets actually win. And then everyone gets eliminated from Survivor.
One of those things.
Yeah. But, I mean, come on. The Jets are just an absolute joke. The Chiefs are the best team in the NFL.
The Jets need to fire that coach like yesterday.
Yeah,
do you agree? They got to get rid of that guy.
I agreed from the beginning, but...
And I think they should clean house. I think they need a new GM.
But for whatever reason, they like this guy Gase.
And the GM, by the way, didn't he win a championship in Seattle?
Well, the GM is from, isn't it Douglas, the guy from Philadelphia?
Oh, that's right, from Phil. Yeah,
But
but I believe he's got a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah,
under his belt.
Well, the Philly.
Yeah. So.
Well, you can't fault him yet because remember they brought him in late. They fired their GM like in August.
Did he hire Gase though?
No.
Oh, he didn't.
No, he didn't hire Gase.
Oh, okay. Then fire Gase, keep the GM.
Yeah, they brought in the GM late. They fired their original GM like in the summertime. So give him some chance. He didn't have a chance to draft anybody or make any trades or anything. He actually did trade some of their guys away. Like he got some first-round picks for what's his name, the safety, Jamal Adams.
Yeah.
Didn't they get 2 first-round picks for him? I mean, that's not bad.
That sounds right. That sounds about right.
That's a good trade right there, especially for a disgruntled safety who's really not going to impact your team that much.
Right.
Like, are the Jets really going to be 3-4 with Jamal Adams playing? No, they're still 0-7.
Right. Well, we shall see, but I'll tell you what, man. There's going to be a lot of money changing a lot of hands if the Jets actually pull this out.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I hate spreads like that in the NFL. I wouldn't touch it personally. I know you're thinking it's the Chiefs, Super Bowl champions, 20-point spread. They're going to win by 30. But I would stay away from the spread.
Yeah. Next up, the 3-3 Raiders. Again, the Jekyll and Hyde Raiders. We don't know which one's going to show up. Well, they're taking a trip to Cleveland.
Well, both these teams are like Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, the Browns and the Raiders. But the
Browns, all right, so the Browns are what, 5-2?
5-2.
They're given 2.5, I think?
Yeah, 2.5 points.
I think the Browns are beginning a downward spiral.
Yeah, this is usually where it happens.
If you ask me.
This should actually be a competitive game.
But who knows? They might do better without Beckham.
Well, that's what we spoke about before. I think they will.
Right.
He's less of a distraction now. This is a weird game. I see it being competitive. These are two. I feel like these two teams match up perfectly.
My eyes are going to be on this game at 1:00 for sure.
Yeah, don't you feel like it's like a perfect matchup? They're two teams that really you don't know what they're going to bring to the table.
I think it'll be at least a fun game to watch. I hope for that.
Yeah, that should be a good one. 1:00. And what do we have next? We went over the Colts and Lions. Now, how about the Titans and the Bengals?
So this, I'm going to jump in here for a second. So this is, for the first time in the history of the show, the NFL Boycott Club, I chose my lock of the week prior to the show. I've looked at all the games instead of just doing it spontaneously, and I put some thought into it. And, I love the Titans here over the Bengals as my lock of the week.
So you're changing your lock from the Chiefs to the Titans?
Well, no, I never made that my lock. This is my lock from the beginning.
Okay.
And, Tennessee is laying 5.5. They're going to beat the shit out of the Bengals, man. They're going to win by more than 5.5.
Yeah, I feel like the Titans are just too good of a team to lose to a team like the Bengals.
So are you in agreement with my lock of the week this week? I know you weren't last time.
This week I am.
All right, we'll see what happens.
This week I am. But
what's your take?
No, I agree here. The Titans are just way too talented on offense and defense to lose to a team like the Bengals. The Titans, I mean, they're quietly 5-1 and
right. Well, not really. I wouldn't say quietly. People say.
Well, they're overlooked because of the Steelers and the Chiefs.
Yeah, they're saying the top teams in the AFC, right? Yeah, the other two teams you just said, plus maybe sprinkle in Baltimore.
Yeah, exactly. 4. It's a tough conference, man. Yeah. Like that's why the Titans might, even though they're 5-1, might be the 4th best team in the conference, which is crazy to think about.
Right. That is the ever-loving truth.
Not like the NFC, where every good team is in one division.
Right.
Where you have the NFC West, and basically any one of those teams could be in the Super Bowl.
And isn't it funny? If you juxtapose the NFC East with the NFC West, you can have two more different divisions in terms of quality of the fucking teams, right?
Right.
The NFC West is stacked. Can you imagine if all those teams make the playoffs, and now this year with 7 slots instead of 6 per conference, that could happen?
Yeah,
right?
You can have all those teams make it this year, right?
You could have all 4. You could have all 4 teams in theory make it from the NFC West, and then all 3 other division champions would make it.
Yeah, so we have 8 teams that are going to be in the playoffs?
7.
7 for each conference.
Only one team gets a bye week now.
Right. Okay.
The number 1 seed.
So you're going to have the Packers, and obviously whatever shit team the NFC East throws out there.
Let's just say Philly.
We'll say Philly
by default.
Exactly, by default. And then the South's kind of up in the air. I guess the Buccaneers are the favorite.
We'll say the Bucs.
Yeah. So you have 4, 5, 6, 7 right there.
Yeah.
Wow, could you imagine just the division winners
Look,
and then the 3 teams underneath the NFC West?
I don't know if you could bet on what teams are going to make the playoffs, but I would put money that at least 3 of the teams in the NFC West are going to be in the playoffs.
3, exactly, yeah.
You're going to get 3 teams.
The division winner in the next 2.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that the Niners are in the last
And
place
it- and
with
it's-
4-3
yeah.
record.
And especially now that we have, like I said, that extra 7th slot, which I don't like, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So now there's more more incentive to get the number 1 seed. They're the only bye week team.
But you know what, though? Over the last, I'll say since the dawn of the new century, right? 2000, when the best team was like the Rams, the greatest show on turf. It's been not as much of an advantage to have a bye week in the playoffs as it used to be.
Well,
look at what the Giants did.
yeah, I mean, if you go by momentum, it seems like a lot of those teams lose in their first game.
It's as if that week off hurts them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Those teams tend to lose the next game.
Yeah.
That first game, I should say, because the team that they're playing has so much momentum going into that game. So, yeah, I guess it's good in a way that you get to have people heal from injuries, but they seem to always blow it, those teams, right?
Yeah. And the only thing I do like about they're doing an extra slot in the playoffs now for each conference. The one thing I do like is that wild card weekend now is going to be 2 triple headers.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Because you have an extra game now for each conference.
So how are they going to do that? That's going to be pretty packed day of games.
Well, look, they do. We have triple headers now every Sunday. We have 1 o'clock, 4:30, and 8.
Yeah, so they'll do 1, 4, and 8.
Yeah,
Yep.
something like that. Something to that effect. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be neat.
So not a problem for us.
No, not at all. Not from the fans.
But
point of
however, from a vaginal point of view, you're pussifying the fucking league by making it easier to get into the playoffs. You know what I mean?
yeah, I never like when you have all these playoff teams. Like, doesn't hockey do that in basketball? Where
Hockey and basketball is like half the league.
more than half. I think in basketball it's 16 out of 30. More than half the league. You have
Yeah.
a better chance of making the playoffs than you do if not making the playoffs.
It's just too much.
It's too many, yeah. And like that's why I kind of like the way baseball does it.
Well,
it's
dude,
very hard to make the
I
playoffs.
think back in the day, it was just you had to win a pennant, and that was it, and then the World Series.
Yeah, well, it was a lot different then.
But there was no playoff. Like the playoffs was just like the best 2 teams in each league. That was
Yeah,
it.
Right. You just take the best records and they play each other.
That's it. And then you have the World Series.
Right. And I mean, now you have the division winners and 2 wild card teams.
But for baseball, I will say I sort of like the 1 game playoff. A lot of people don't like it because you play so many games all year, and they don't like it coming down to 1 game.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what though? Baseball's a boring fucking sport. I'm just gonna say it.
And that wild card game is always a fun
right.
game.
So it's actually a good idea. I think it's an experiment that went well.
A do
and I hope they
or
keep doing it.
die game is.
I think it makes it fun. It makes it like an automatic game 7 or like an automatic game 5, whatever it might be.
Well, that's why college basketball is so successful because it's all the one and done.
Right.
People love that type
Yeah.
of the format. You know,
Yeah.
a one and done. There's no mistakes that can be made.
And unlike Rutgers with football, we have a relevant team here in Jersey for basketball.
For basketball,
SHU.
Seton Hall.
Yeah, they're relevant, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they're not fucking North Carolina or whatever.
Yeah, they're always ranked the past few years. They've always been ranked. But that's why I like about college basketball. I mean, you could not watch college basketball all year.
You just wait
and
till
get,
March.
and get into March Madness.
Yeah.
Because it always is so much fun.
But you know what my boy Nick DePaula says about basketball, and I sort of agree with him. You're watching 2 teams trade baskets for 47 minutes. The only minute that counts is the fucking last minute.
Right. Well, they always joke, spotty team 100 points, play the last 2 minutes, and that's all you need.
Yeah. All right. Well, next here on the docket, we have the Chargers visiting Denver. Chargers are actually laying 3 on the road, and both these teams are 2 and 4. I probably won't be watching this one.
No?
I don't think so.
No, this is a pretty bad matchup. This is a kind of a tough game, too. I mean, Chargers are more talented. They should win this game, but they also...
Well, their quarterback, they got a good young quarterback. So
Herbert,
I think if he stays healthy, they could make some noise in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Chargers...
Rutgers just scored a touchdown.
Good for them.
Against the number 17 team in the country.
6-0 right now.
That's going to be something, man. If Rutgers pulls this game out, they're going to have to be ranked.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They're going to have
Absolutely.
to be ranked. We're talking about fucking Rutgers.
And did we see who won the Michigan State game? Because that game was close for us, Michigan.
Dude, I was barely old enough to drink the last time Rutgers was ranked. Now I'm almost 40.
Well, what was the exact year? 2006?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Unbelievable, man.
Good
That's when Ray Rice wasn't taking no quiz.
Good for them. I think we spoke about that incident in one of our shows. So who do you like here in this game? I'm going with the Chargers just because, I mean, talent alone, they're better. But who knows because that team is also a mess.
You know, I can't. The Broncos are unpredictable. Like I said,
Yeah.
they fucked me on my lock of the week last time.
The Broncos are.
And give me the Chargers.
Right?
Laying the 3.5.
Sure.
On the road. With that young quarterback.
With Herbert?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for that reason.
That's it.
And again, I don't know a tremendous amount about these teams, honestly. AFC West is probably like the division in the league that I have the least amount of knowledge. Because they're so far geographically from us, and they're the opposite conference of my team.
Yeah, we don't really watch too many of their games. I mean, obviously the Raiders in that division, they're playing okay. And then
well, the Raiders are now by default my second favorite team because they're in Vegas.
in Vegas,
my home away from home.
But the Chiefs are obviously going to run away with that division. They're 10 times better than every team in that division.
All right, well let's talk about a good game here.
What do we got next?
And correct me if I'm wrong, bro. What didn't these two teams just play last week? No.
Niners played the Pats last week.
Oh, that's right. But the Seahawks played Arizona.
And Arizona squeaked out.
Dude, that was a fucking awesome game on Sunday night.
That was a good game. Yeah, Arizona came back and tied it up.
They weren't so Arizona's first lead of the game was when they scored in overtime to win.
Okay.
They were either trailing or tied the whole game.
Yeah, I know they were losing.
Actually, they were trailing. I could be wrong, but I believe they were trailing the whole game. And when they tied it in the fourth quarter was the first time the score was tied.
Where they weren't losing at any point in the game.
Right.
Yeah, and they came back in that game because I think they were down by 10, if not mistaken.
What a fucking game.
In the fourth quarter. And they went to overtime, and they squeaked out a win there.
That was some game.
That's a good win for the Cardinals because the people are kind of like, you look at the Cardinals, you're like, well, they're 4-2. They lost to a couple bad teams. What kind of team are they?
And
they beat a good team.
I think the Cardinals might be off this week, so it's good that we're talking about them.
Yeah, they have the talent around that team. I mean, I like Murray. You know, I wasn't big on him coming out of college. He's 5'9". I mean, it's hard to buy into a quarterback that's small.
Very good.
But he's very good, and he has talent around him now with Hopkins. They have Larry Fitz still, and they got a pretty good defense. So I think that team can make noise. It's just they were looking for that signature win, and that was it. And they got it.
And I can confirm the Cardinals are off this week. So
yeah, so we can talk about that.
So it's good we got And plus, I know you like their coach.
You know, you always say that, but I don't know if I really like him necessarily. I mean, I know he was at Texas Tech. And
he was like the cool young coach at Texas Tech for a minute.
Yeah, because he was, like 34, 35 when he was coaching there? He was
younger.
Younger than that?
He was like in his late 20s.
Wow, okay. Because he was the ex-quarterback for Texas Tech.
Yeah. He was at Texas Tech, I want to say, when I was in high school.
When he what? When he coached there? Or
no, when he played there.
When he played there, okay.
Yeah, as a player.
But I think, wasn't he a better offensive coordinator? Because once he became head coach, that team went to shit. If I'm not mistaken.
I think the last couple seasons weren't good, but I think overall he was pretty. He's not like it's not like hiring Adam Gase, who was just a straight up loser.
Right.
This guy actually had winning seasons.
No, I'm sure he did. Yeah.
You know, and college too. You got to keep in mind what makes college tough is the turnover. You know what I mean?
What do you mean by that?
Unless you're awesome at recruiting.
Yeah, you have to be.
Your team's going to be different every fucking year in college.
Yeah, you have to be very aggressive on the recruiting, and a lot of these programs recruit themselves.
Right.
Like if you're Alabama, you're probably going to get the best kids because they're going to be on national television.
And your team is always going to get good kids.
Yeah, I mean,
want to go there
to a point. But again, with Notre Dame, they actually hold their students to a certain credentials. So a lot of kids are like, oh shit, so I have to actually like pass a quiz to like go here. So that kind of deters people from going there as well.
Yeah, but for the most part, kids dream about playing at Notre Dame.
Sure.
Penn State.
I mean, how many other teams are nationally televised?
No, they're
on a weekly basis.
They're the only one.
Yeah.
And that's something that's a selling point. Don't think they don't talk about that when they recruit.
Oh, yeah. You're going to be national television every week.
Yeah.
So you have a chance to prove yourself. And if you look at Notre Dame's offensive linemen, every year they have like an All-American who goes to the NFL and becomes an All-Pro immediately.
Right.
Immediately becomes an All-Pro.
Justin Pugh didn't go to Notre Dame, did he?
No, he went to Syracuse. But
I feel like he could have went to Notre Dame.
But my man Ronnie Stanley, but the Ravens was Notre Dame product. He just got an extension, left tackle, for $98 million.
Wow.
He's the cornerstone of that line. Left tackle, guarding for Lamar Jackson.
Very important position.
Yep.
All right, so anyway, let's get back to the game that we were just about to get into. The Niners are going to Seattle. Looks like Seattle is laying 3 here.
This is a tough game.
This is a tough game
Yeah.
in the best division in football.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be watching this one.
You know what? I like the Niners here. What do you think about that?
Dude, like with the spread?
I'm not confident.
Like outright or with...
I'm not confident. I'm looking at this game. I'm like, you know what? The Niners need a win here. They have to win.
It's good. I don't know.
Niners can't lose this game. It's a must-win for them. They can't go 4-4 and have a divisional loss. They have to win this game.
You think Seattle's going to lose 2 weeks in a row?
Oh, no. It's not far. I'm not saying they're going to win. It's very far-fetched, but I just think this is a game they have to win. Like, they have to gear up for this game. So I just think the Niners seem to win these big games with the new coach, at least.
Yeah.
Not in the past.
Right. Well, yeah. If you want a good team that's never going to win a championship, you hire Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, we were talking about that before. Yeah, if you want to go 10-2, losing in a big game, you hire Harbaugh.
The guy can't beat Ohio State.
Can't beat Ohio State.
He's what, 0-5?
Something like that. And then can't beat Ohio State, lost in the Super Bowl with the Niners. And I think before I was
to his
discussing
brother.
this, yeah, in Stanford, he had a good team. They lost big games there too.
Yeah, well, he had Andrew Luck over there at Stanford.
Yeah, Luck, yeah.
Hard to believe he's retired too.
I know. At what, 29?
There were rumors that he was going to come back this year, but that obviously didn't happen.
I'm sure there are going to be rumors every year for the next 5 years.
You
about
know,
him coming back.
He's legitimately a really smart dude.
Yeah, well, you have to go to Stanford.
He's super fucking smart.
That's another college like Notre Dame where you have to have a certain GPA. And you have to be somewhat intelligent to go there.
You're right.
Unlike going to Miami where you can have a 1.0 GPA and play football.
They just pick you up off the street and they put a uniform on you.
Yes. And they just enroll you into agriculture as your major.
Basket weaving.
Isn't agriculture like the major they give all these
No, wait, remember the movie?
Students?
Remember the movie Blue Chips? Wasn't your boy Shaq taking basket weaving?
And the one guy was taking a class called TV.
Yeah.
and he was flunking it.
Right, he goes, "How do you fail TV? You watch it."
He's like, it's just not. And he was saying, "Oh, you don't just watch TV all day. You have to report on it." He's flunking TV. Oh my god.
All right, next up here, going around the league, 4-2 New Orleans going to Chicago. Chicago's 5-2, and New Orleans actually laying 5 because Nick Foles has not been looking good.
Yeah, you know what?
You think they're getting points at home because of Nick Foles?
Yeah, I think so.
Who we've been very proactively supporting.
Yeah, and the thing with this game is this should be a tough game to pick, but you know what? I see the Saints winning here.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean? Don't you just see this as 5-2 Bears, 4-2 Saints? It could be close. I see the Saints winning out right here.
Well, the way that I said the Browns, I think, are at the beginning of a downward spiral, I think you could say the same for Chicago.
For the Bears. Well, before last week's game, they were saying the Bears were one of the worst 5-1 teams in the league, which is a weird thing to say when you're 5-1. But offensively,
there has to be a best 5-1 and a worst. You know what I mean? Not everybody that graduates from med school graduates number one. Out of a graduating class of people that are going to be doctors, somebody had to come in last place.
Somebody had to be the worst. Yes.
Somebody had to be the worst doctor in the class.
Right. But we do always go by what Bill Parcells says, you're only as good as your record. And the Bears had a good record.
You know what he said? He said, the way he puts it, you are what your record says you are.
Right, exactly. And it's hard to say a 5-1 team is not good.
And when he says that, he means it for not just necessarily sports. He means it in your life.
For everything,
your track record in life.
You can look at it in all aspects of your life, not just sports. That's true. But, I mean, it is with the Bears, they're kind of a weird team. Defensively, they're very good. But I think the verdict is out on Nick Foles and the offense.
And it sucks because I like Nick Foles. I want to see him do well. Mm-hmm. And he's having a rough time after sort of a storybook kind of beginning to his Chicago career.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like when he was in Philly, that team rallied around him. Wherever he goes besides Philly, he just doesn't really seem to be that good.
No, you're right. You're right. And unfortunately, going around the league, the last 2 games we have to talk about involve the NFC East. So I'm sorry to have to do this to you, pal. But we have 2-5 Dallas visiting the Eagles. Eagles are 2-4-1.
Yeah, I mean,
and they're laying 10 on this game.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys have a third-string quarterback coming in. They have some guy named Danucci, the big Jooch, I called him before.
That's funny to me.
I mean, this game is Eagles should win, right? I mean, but the Eagles are a weird team too. But 10 points is a lot of points for a team with 2 wins, is it
But
not?
Dallas is bad, though.
Dallas is bad, yeah. I mean,
so technically, if you look at their records, so Dallas is 2-5, Eagles are 2-4-1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to explain this to people that may not understand what team is higher than the other one.
Go ahead.
So, because the Eagles have one less loss and over the same amount of games, the Eagles are half a game over Dallas in the standings.
Game.
Right. Just for clarification purposes.
I'm surprised
I'm
surprised they didn't flex this game out. I mean, that's a horrible Sunday night game.
Flex it out of the schedule.
Yeah, well,
never mind prime time.
Why don't they just put the Niners and the Seahawks on at 8 o'clock?
I don't think you can flex until
halfway through the season,
yeah.
Right? But I mean, come on, with this whole COVID thing, they got teams playing on Tuesdays. We can't have a team 8 o'clock switch with a 4 o'clock team.
Look,
we got Tuesday games, doubleheaders on Mondays.
Hit up your boy Roger Goodell.
Yeah, let me give him a call. Get him on the phone. Do you have his number?
Actually, I have called on him for my job because I try to cold call people. And
you call Roger Goodell?
I tried to email him. It got bounced back.
Oh, you didn't get to him?
But I did hit up the CIO of the NFL and the IT director.
Did they get back to you?
No,
of course not.
But if you hit him up enough, you never know what can happen.
Maybe they read one of those emails.
Well, he definitely read them. I know the one I sent to Roger Goodell got bounced back, but the other ones went through.
They probably got erased immediately, though.
Probably, but you got to be in it to win it.
Exactly.
And speaking of being in it to win it, Tampa Tom is playing our New York Giants.
Oh wow, yeah.
To close out the week,
the Monday night game. Wow, and 2 bad night games in a row.
And the Giants will not be in this game.
No, they're not. The Buccaneers are just way too talented of a team to go up against the Giants.
Tom Brady's got to be lifetime 16-2 at MetLife Stadium or /Giant Stadium.
Is he that 16-2? Really? Oh, with the Jets, you're saying? Yeah, okay, I know what you're saying. I was thinking Giants only.
At the Meadowlands, he's got to be 16-2.
Yeah, because that's right. Because he's been playing the Jets how many times?
Or even more. He probably 20-2.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets have beat them, so I don't think
at home.
Yeah.
Tom Brady owns the Jets at home.
Even regular season though,
the only time I remember seeing the Jets beat the Patriots
was
in the playoffs.
Okay.
On the road in New England.
Yeah. Well, the Bart Scott game, we said can't wait after.
Yeah.
That's true. There were playoff games. I feel 16-2 is a little bit exaggerated. I don't know if it's that bad.
Well, let's look it up.
We should look it up. We don't look it up now, though.
I'm going to look it up right now on my smartphone.
All right, do it quick because I don't want to be like those guys on the Michael K show.
Well, take the fucking show over.
All right, so we're going with the Giants and the Buccaneers game. This is the last game of the week. Buccaneers are minus 12.5 points. That is a lot of points, especially when you're playing on the road and with the Giants' track record versus Tom Brady. But it all comes down to the talent the Buccaneers have. I don't see the Giants being in this game. You got to figure the Buccaneers are good here to win by 12.5 points. I could actually even see a blowout here. The Giants just look completely inept. Although the Giants' defense is pretty good.
All right, so real quick, Tom Brady has 28 regular season wins against the Jets. That includes home and away.
Wow.
So then he's probably 14 and 3 or something. If you just split it up 50-50.
But do we know how many times the Giants have won?
I think Tom Brady's 2-0 against the Giants at the Meadowlands.
Because we beat him in the Super Bowl, but not in the regular season. What you're saying?
The one game they won to become 17-0, which is a good game, in 2007.
Right.
And then I'm sure the Patriots won last year at Giant Stadium.
I would imagine so. I feel like a lot of the games are close, though, right? But the Giants wound up losing.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, you're right. I think they played them tough, and they just couldn't pull it out. But
even the year that they were 16-0, I think that last game
that was a good game.
That was a close game.
That was a very good game.
And neither team was playing for anything except obviously the Pats, who were playing for undefeated season.
Yeah, the Giants already had their seed locked up in the playoffs that year.
And so did the Pats. Obviously, they were 15-0 at that point. But Yeah, they were just playing for undefeated season, which is still a great accomplishment.
Well, that's it, man. We went around the league. We talked a little fantasy. We talked a little college. Rutgers is looking good
Go Rutgers.
against number 17 Indiana.
Everyone's a Rutgers fan when they win, but when they're losing, nobody gives a shit about them.
Well, because when they're losing, they're like the most irrelevant team. They're less relevant than like Army and Navy.
They're unwatchable, like as Mike would say it, as Mike Francesa would say it. They're
Right.
unwatchable.
Which he classified the Jets as being.
Yeah, like why would you want to watch a team losing by 40 points every week? There's no point.
Right. Exactly. But you got to get behind your home state team if they're doing well.
If they're doing well, absolutely. I mean, if they beat Indiana today.
Well, all right, man. I think that's all I got, unless there's anything else you want to go over.
I think that's it. Everybody have a good Halloween. Stay safe out there. No drinking and driving. Take an Uber if you need to. I'll be going out tonight, so
That's great life
everybody be
advice.
safe.
Yeah, happy Halloween, motherfuckers. I've really been trying to not say motherfucker a lot on the show, but I just said it twice.
Yeah, easy with the profanity there. Easy, boy.
All right, boycotters, happy Halloween. Stay safe. Stay strong. Keep boycotting. We'll watch so you don't have to. This is the NFL Boycott Club. We'll come back at you next week. And we got a crazy week coming up with the election and all the chaos that's going to come out of that. So everybody stay safe before the apocalypse. We'll see you.
See you next week. Apocalypse, he says.